Hey, if you're a musician or artist thinking about changing your name, I've done it. So this video is going to be about my experience, good and bad. Check it out. I do alternative hip hop, and I went by the name Proseed from basically 2003 to 2022. So yeah, just shy of 20 years. Loved it originally, I guess. I don't know if I ever loved it, but I went with it, and like the famous MC Idea, rest in peace, he said one time, he was like, it's a stupid name. I should have changed it when I was younger. But by that time, he had a huge following in the underground independent hip-hop scene on rhyme sayers. So I could see why you wouldn't change it in that situation. In my situation, I don't have a huge following. Always appreciated everybody that's followed or listened to the music or bought CDs or streamed. So that wasn't really an issue for me. The loss of fans, because, if you look at the metrics of, say, Spotify, I think I have, at this point, I've got like 37 followers on Spotify. So I assumed most of those people that follow me there are going to be in my inner circle anyway. So when I made the change from Proseed to Dereos Roads, I assumed they're going to see that anyway. They're going to follow me wherever they follow me, Spotify, Bandcamp, etc. Anyway, I guess in that case it would really just be Spotify, because we'll get to Bandcamp. So I did that. That's been positive. I now, and this is probably going on a month, so in less than a year, I have more followers of Dereos Roads on Spotify than I do on Proseed, an account that I've had since the beginning of Spotify, whenever that was. So that's been positive for sure. My model used to be that I would just kind of work on a full-length album, put it out, maybe focus on a single or focus on a video. Although really, I wasn't really doing singles too much. I would kind of just do a video and call it a single. So I've definitely adopted the model where you're doing multiple singles a year. I think I had like maybe 4 singles in the past year, and then did my album. So that's helped tremendously. I've used curators, playlist aggregators of curators like Submit Hub. Not a huge fan of that one. Had some success, but maybe it was the music when I did Submit Hub for Proseed. But with Dereos Roads, under my new name, I've used Groover, and I've had a lot of success with that. But I don't like to put all my time and effort into playlist curation. I don't know how much I value it as much as I thought I did. I mean, I can definitely get some plays. I definitely get some followers. More plays than followers, and I appreciate everybody that's put me on. I'm on some like 30-some playlists at this point. But eventually those listeners kind of just die down. The monthly count dies down, and it's like, so what do you got to do? You got to spend another 15, 20, 30 bucks on a campaign. Some people do even more than that. And what is that? Nothing more to me than just like what's the word? It's like a vanity project, right? It's pure vanity. Oh, I want to see that I've got hundreds of listeners a month. So I'm going to spend 20 bucks to make that happen. So that's less important to me now. So I think another shift that's occurred for me has been the interest in really cultivating and getting really cultivating a fan base by having genuine relationships with people. And one of the ways to do that for me is really just to perform as much as I possibly can. Did a lot more shows this year than I did previously, but I want to do twice that this coming year. So that's definitely in the works for me. All right, so on to one of the things that people I think really worry about when they've got to do this, or when they decide to do this and change their name, is like, what about your accounts? What about your YouTube page? What about your music on Spotify and Deezer and Apple Music, etc.? Okay, so I've talked a little bit about Spotify. That's been positive. Deezer for me has been an issue because I definitely had like 30 or 40 Deezer listeners, and I know they're from like the UK and Germany, etc. Shout out to anybody whose country I didn't mention that is a big Deezer user. I might not know all the info on that, but I definitely had some followers on there, and I've got maybe one now, so that's been a struggle. But in terms of like transitioning to these accounts, I kept my Bandcamp page. I just obviously changed the URL, so all my Proseed music is still on there. That hasn't been a problem. I might have lost some followers because I got to say my rollout was not great. I kind of didn't warn people as well as I should have, like, which was kind of difficult, but I guess I could have put a just notification out like, look, tomorrow I'm changing my name. I want you to know this is Proseed, but, I'm changing my name to Dereos Roads. So I didn't do that well, but at this point, I've got twice the amount of Bandcamp followers I have, so there's a couple ways I've gone about doing that. I can save that for another video, but that's been pretty successful. I've just about reached like my greatest sales year on Bandcamp, so that's been successful there. I'm happy about that. YouTube's been a struggle. YouTube has been an issue because when you have your official artist page already tied, like I go through the distributor CD Baby. That's my streaming music distributor. That's why I get everything officially on all the services. So I have my official artist page tied to the music that is automatically generated, that has videos generated by CD Baby, etc., right, as a YouTube official artist page. I know that sounds convoluted. Basically, what I'm trying to say is my official YouTube artist page is tied to Proseed, and there doesn't seem to be a way for me to modify that or change that. I wish YouTube or CD Baby would fix that, make it easy for an artist that changes their artist name to just say, look, yeah, all that music under my original name should still be on this YouTube page, but now my new music should be my official artist channel rather than having to start a new one. So that was one of the solutions CD Baby support gave me, was to start a new one, but I did not like that because I had hundreds of subscribers, and with the algorithm changing, everybody pretty much knows how difficult that can be trying to get organic growth. So that's not growing too much, but I am using it more frequently, and hopefully things pick up in the future, especially with me doing this vlog rather than just putting music videos. So YouTube's, there's good and bad to that, but I'm definitely using it more. All right, so the other thing I want to talk about is fan reception. Family, fans, friends, how's everybody taken to the new name, the switch? Of course, I got a lot of questions like, why did you change your name? And the simple answer to that is, one, I shared it. I shared the name with other bands and musicians. I shared it with companies. Again, reminder, the name was Proseed. So you could look that up on Google. You're going to find a bunch of different associations with it. And it's not just the music. I thought it was kind of a hip hop trope. It's like, I shall proceed. So wasn't interested in it anymore. And then the third thing would be that musically I've kind of transcended, where I'm kind of blending genres with hip hop, boom bap, alternative rock, blues, new age, kind of like ambient sounds and stuff. So with that, I felt like I needed a switch. And then fourthly, I would say that it's been very refreshing, and it's like rejuvenated my inspiration, and I think it's rejuvenated some interest in what I've done, what I'm doing, and it's probably attracting new listeners too. I like that it's 2 words, Dereos Roads. I like that nobody else has the name. And it's just kind of, it can spark some interest, like, Dereos Roads, what's that about? Whereas Proseed, it was very like genre-centric. Like, you would only understand it if you were like an indies hip-hop fan from the early 2000s or something. With this, it's kind of like, oh, some people even assume it's a band name, so that's kind of cool too when they find out otherwise. So the reception's been good. Again, I get a lot of questions. Some people are like, but man, it sounds classy. And your music isn't necessarily classy. And some people say that's a compliment. Others might disagree, but I like it. I like the name a lot. And I think it's intriguing. And I do think it's going to be a positive down the road. It's something you can say if you're using Siri or, whatever AI, whatever apps you use on your phone. You hear something, you go, maybe you shout my name and it pulls it up on Google or wherever. I think that works. And any other last tidbits? One thing cool to mention would be that one of my songs by homie Reason, called Tons of Guns 23, that got played on Democracy Now! Back in May. So that was huge. I got a bunch of Shazams when that was played. So that was really cool. It was like the biggest moment I've had musically in terms of exposure, because if you don't know, Democracy Now! Is a progressive news organization, a daily program. It's played on radio stations and channels across the globe. We're talking thousands of channels. So that was pretty big for me. I loved it, and I've always been a fan of them, fan of that program. So it was an honor to be on there. But otherwise, that's all I really have to say. If you're thinking about changing your name, your musician name, I say go for it. I think in most cases, artists that think about doing that probably don't have huge followings. So it's not to say like you're throwing away your followers. You should definitely appreciate every single one, even from your original names, obviously. They listen to your music, they appreciate it. So do your best to let them know ahead of time and give them all the information they need to keep up with your new stuff. And of course, don't throw away the old stuff. I know some people definitely go through all those steps to change their name while maintaining the song data, on Spotify and everything. I just adopted a new profile when it came to that, because like I said, it wasn't like thousands of followers that were connected to it, where I probably would have done that. So that's really circumstantial. It depends on your situation. But if you're thinking about doing it, I say do it now. Don't do it 5 years from now. Just do it. Get a good name. Come up with a good name. And look, if you ever have any questions on any topic related to that, like any things you're worried about, concerns, you can always reach out to me. My information is on my YouTube page. You can comment down below. But thanks for listening. This is Dereos Roads signing out. I'll see you next time.